We are pleased to be joined by our friend Adam Perle, President and Chief Executive Officer of ArtPride, New Jersey. Good to see you, Adam.
Thank you for having me, Steve. Always a pleasure to be on your show.
You got it. Website's up. Plug the organization.
So for those folks that don't know, ArtPride New Jersey is the state's largest arts service organization. We have 350 plus member organizations, arts and cultural organizations across the state. We do a number of different things, but all of it is to work to ensure that the arts remain vital to our state's economy and quality of life, connecting people with arts organizations and providing professional development for the arts sector. So that's public policy, advocacy, professional development, research, and of course, the platform Discover Jersey Arts, where residents and visitors can learn more about cultural opportunities all across the Garden State.
Listen, we're a nonprofit. You're a nonprofit. I'm sure people who watch us are tired of me talking about this, but no money, no mission. I'd love to just do the art. I'd love to just do this. You would just love, and your members would love to be engaged in art. We don't have that luxury, do we? Because we spend more than half. I don't know about you. I'm like between 60 and 70% of my time raising money. You?
So for us as an organization, a lot of our programs and services are actually funded in partnership with the New Jersey State Council on the Arts, and we're funded by membership dues and individual donations and private foundation support. But you're right, for most of our members, the arts organizations that produce and present, because we're a service organization, a trade association, if you will, but the performing arts centers, the museums, the local community art centers, the libraries, the museums, all of the arts, cultural, and humanities organizations across the state, you're absolutely right, whether it's the executive director or director of development or teams of development, funding continuously for the past 25 years has been the number one concern of those running nonprofit organizations and arts organizations across the state and across the country, of course.
Let's put that in perspective. The National Endowment for the Arts. What is it, and what is at risk as it relates to federal funding of the National Endowment for the Arts? Why does it matter?
So the National Endowment for the Arts, and I will say as well, the other relative cultural agencies, the National Endowment for the Humanities, the Institute for Museum and Library Services, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting have all been devastated by the Department of Government Efficiency.
To fully disclose, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is the private entity that funds a significant portion, of public media, PBS and NPR, National Public Radio, and the Public Broadcasting Service. We're part of the arts too, but go ahead. I just wanted to clarify because we are part of that world. We do not receive dollars at the Caucus Educational Corporation from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, but I just want to make that connection. Please, Adam.
No, I appreciate it, and I think the clarity is important. And let's start with the National Endowment for Arts. And the NEA, the NEH, and the IMLS, each of these agencies have undergone over the last few months a very similar fate, where grants that were out in the field were withdrawn or terminated, where senior staff members at each of these agencies have left en masse, and where President Trump's skinny budget, which he presented to Congress, calls for the closure of each of these agencies in fiscal year 26. So each of these entities is under attack.
Taping at the end of May, we have no idea what's going to happen. But pick up your point. So say they slash it all. It goes, Adam. Tell folks what that means.
So I could try to break it down for each one because they're a little bit different in how they support New Jersey, each one. The National Endowments for the Arts right now supports 54 nonprofit arts organizations and about $2.75 million in grants. And these organizations include major cultural institutions as well as grassroots arts groups, and they help to ensure a variety of arts programs for people across the state. The New Jersey State Council for the Arts, so that part of the Department of State, which receives funding and grants out, over 900 grants across New Jersey, receives about $1.1 million from the NEA. They use that money for their overhead, for their administration. So
the National Endowment of the Arts, but go ahead.
Yep, the National Endowment for the Arts. So they use that for their administration, for their overhead, and that allows them to provide the funding that comes from the state budget, nearly $32 million to go out the door for arts organizations, cultural centers, artists, and arts education programs. The numbers are different for the National Endowment of Humanities and Institute for Museum and Library Services. I can share if you like.
No, that's okay. But in the time we have, I do this for our audience. Tell folks from your perspective, Adam, why the arts are more than the arts. They're about healing, community, and quality of life.
I would say simply to say the arts are not just a luxury. They're a fundamental part of who we are as a state and as a nation. And without these critical federal resources, we risk losing a core part of our cultural identity, our economic vitality. And we need to ensure that doesn't happen.
So when people say, come on, seriously, it's not a priority, you say what to them?
Well, I say that the arts are, again, not just about the intrinsic value of enjoying and experiencing the arts, but the arts are integral in our community development. They are integral in education. They're an important part today of healthcare, of business, of tourism. They are in every nook and cranny and every village and dell across New Jersey, and they're part of what makes us unique. It is not just alone that great experience that you have going to a museum or seeing live music. It's a part of what makes us a community, a society. It's what helps to provide creativity, empathy, innovation.
P.S. As we wrap up this segment, Adam also, he and his colleagues also talk about equity in the arts. Yes, I use the word equity, meaning arts equity. Every community, regardless of one's zip code or socioeconomic status, ability to pay for the arts, has access to the arts. You can decide for yourself whether you think that's important. We do. Adam Perle, President and Chief Executive Officer of ArtPride New Jersey. Thank you, my friend. We'll stay connected with you and keep the conversation going. All the best, Adam.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll see you next time.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health, the New Jersey Education Association, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Congress Hall, a Cape Resorts property, the North Ward Center, PSC&G, New Jersey's Clean Energy Program, Johnson & Johnson, and by PSEG Foundation. Promotional support provided by NJ Biz and by CIANJ and Commerce Magazine.
A cancer diagnosis changes everything.
So does where you go for treatment.
Where other cancer centers offer radiation, at Hackensack Meridian John Theurer Cancer Center, we're utilizing the world's most advanced precision radiotherapy
That can pinpoint and destroy your cancer.
Some perform clinical trials, but we have one of the nation's most rapidly growing drug discovery programs.
Providing hope with the medicine of tomorrow.
New Jersey's best cancer center. Know the difference.